Hey everybody, Eric Nathy with MountainModernLife.com. Today we wanted to unbox our Ring stick-up cam. So we just got this, and as many of you know, over the last 6 months as we've been in our RV, we've been staying closer to family and things like that, and felt pretty secure where we were at and weren't really getting out as much as we would like to. But here in the future, in the next couple days, we're going to be hitting the road, and when we do so, we're not going to be around family. We don't know where we're going to end up, whether we're going to be boondocking in the middle of nowhere, if we're going to be in RV camp, state park. We have no clue yet. We're going to let the road kind of lead the way for us, and we thought it was really a good idea for us to have some sort of camera system in place that would allow us to see the outside of our RV. Now, the cool thing about this one is it is outdoor, but it also too it activates by motion, so if someone walks by. But then also, let's say me and Katie are out on a hike and we see some rough clouds coming in, we can turn it on and see what the weather is like at the RV, so that we can monitor the situation. And if things are getting too rough, maybe we have to head home to put the awning back in or anything like that, who knows. But just having the ability to view what's going on outside our RV when we're not here is awesome. Now, another reason we went with this specific camera, the Ring stick-up cam, is because as we were looking around, we couldn't find any that were two-way audio, but this one actually is. And it's easy to install from what I understand. To be real honest, we're actually going to do this unboxing right now. For the first time. I haven't seen what's in here, so we'll do it together, and then after that we'll dive right into the installation process. This camera, the Ring stick-up cam, was actually $200, which we thought was really reasonable for everything you get, and the abilities you're able to use with it by accessing it on the phone. And then also, as long as you have a wireless connection, the way it works is when the camera turns on, it actually shoots it right up to the cloud and to your phone, so whenever you want, you can go back in and look at the footage of what was going on outside your RV. So it's really handy in that regard. We're really excited about it, ready to get it up, but before we do that, we have to go ahead and unbox it. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. Comes with a little sleeve on it. Has a whole bunch of information. It is an interesting story on the side here of the box. It tells you about the inventor and how he invented the stick-up cam, because him and his wife didn't always like to go to the door and answer it when they don't know who's there. So then they came up with this idea of being able to see who's at your front door. They initially started with the Doorbell Cam, which works as just like you would expect. There's a doorbell you put on the front and it has a camera. Now the thing is, and the reason we didn't go with the Doorbell Cam, is because with that camera it activates on motion sensors only, from what we understand, or at least at this time. And with the Ring stick-up cam, like I said before, you're able to dive into your phone and turn on the camera whenever you want. So for us being on the road, that's going to be really helpful. But that little backstory I read on the side of the case. Anyway, so here's the box with the sleeve off. It looks really familiar, just like a phone box. Anyway, let's pop this off here. What we see is just padding on the top. And then here it is, the Ring stick-up cam. Man, we're excited. This is going to be awesome. But here's that. That comes in the box. Then you have your little casing here. I'll just toss that to the side. Underneath here, now the cool thing, it looks like this actually comes with all the tools you need. It comes with a drill bit, comes with a little screwdriver, then also your mounting bracket that you put into the wall. On the back side here, I'll show you real quick, it has a level. That's pretty handy, so you can make sure that you're securing it straight, which is nice. Let's see what else we got in here. Comes with a little bolt, and then it comes with your plastic anchors and your screws, which is nice. Let's see what else we got in here. Another backing. Here we go. So here is your cable, because there are two different options for the stick-up cam. It does have a battery inside that you can charge to keep it running and not continuously keep it hooked up, or it looks like they have an actual longer cable here where you can plug it in so that it's steadily got power. I'm going to try my best to make that our option, but if not, we'll run off a battery. Here's another cable. Then nice little instruction booklet here. As an installation guide. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Katie's kind of laughing at me in the background, but I'm really excited. I was never an instruction manual guy for the longest time, but I'm not gonna lie, once we moved into the RV, I'm totally an instruction manual guy, so I'm gonna read both of these all the time. And they have a nice little sticker. A while back, give you guys a little backstory, I actually worked for a security camera surveillance company. I worked in the sales department, and one of the things that I learned through that process is that as far as preventing crime, a big aspect of preventing crime is putting your camera out in front of people so that they can see it. Then they know that they're being recorded, and these little stickers can help too. Just let people know, hey, you're being recorded. But anyway, so that is it for the box. I'm going to go ahead and read through these instruction manuals and see how we're going to install this, and then I'll come back to you real quick and we'll get it put up. Alright, so I know I said we were going to dive straight into the installation, but like I mentioned before, I was unboxing it for the first time with you there. So once I dove into the instruction manual, I found out that it's easiest to actually connect your Ring with your phone right away, and that way it sets it up. It's a lot easier to get that done and then attach it to the wall mount. So what we're going to do is real quick, I'm going to show you kind of how to do it. It's extremely simple. I won't get into too much detail, but just enough. Here you have your Ring, right? And on the back you have this little orange button. This is your power button, and then in this other slot over here you have your charging station. So what you do is when you first get started, the first thing you want to do is actually grab your phone or your laptop or computer, whatever you're using. I chose to use my phone, and what I did is I went into the Play Store because I have Samsung Android. I went in there and I downloaded the Ring app. You can see it right there. And then what you do is you go ahead and install that. Now, it's important that after you have that installed, before you start setting all this up, that you have your phone connected to Wi-Fi. I was having a little bit of an issue with it once I was setting up the Ring to where my phone wasn't set to Wi-Fi. But anyway, so you download the application and then you have your Ring. So once you open up the app, it's going to ask you if you want to add a camera, and that's what you want to do. So then you click add a camera. It's going to go ahead and ask you to name that camera, things like that. But then what you'll do is you'll push this orange button in just briefly and then release it. And then what that'll do is that will create a little flashing light right here. And what that indicates is that your Ring is ready to start pairing. So then you go ahead and go through the app and you follow the steps through here. What it's going to ask you to do is connect to the Ring wirelessly, and then those two are going to communicate. And then after you're done with that, it's going to ask you to connect back to your Wi-Fi and what Wi-Fi you want the Ring to connect to. So for us, it was our network over here. We got them both connected, and then they go ahead and hook up together that way. But really, it's that simple as far as setting it up, and then the application will walk you kind of through everything. And then even when we have it laying right in here, I keep getting alerts on my phone saying, well, I named our Ring the Falcon, so the Falcon has new activity. But anyway, that's pretty easy as far as setting it up there. I just wanted to touch base on that before we move forward. But now that we've done that, we'll go ahead and move on to the installation process. Alright everybody, here we are. We finally made it to the installation process. Now what I'm about to show you is how I'm going to go about installing it here, and I've done countless hours of research trying to find the best way to go about it. I haven't really found anything specific. I've found tidbits here and there that have helped, and I'm going to follow the approach that I think is going to work best for me. I suggest if you're going to do this for yourself, do a little bit of research, find out what's going to work best for you, and then move forward with how you want to install it. So anyway, with that said, you know, if you're going to do this, do it at your own risk. I'm going to go ahead and do it this way, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it. So the first thing I have here is my drill, and I have a 5/64 bit, and I chose this bit because it's smaller than the screws that I'm going to be putting in, and at the same time I don't want to put too large holes in there. So next I actually have the screws that came with the Ring stick-up cam, so we're going to go ahead and use those. I have the Ring, And then also here I have the bracket. Now before, I didn't get into too much detail about the bracket, but I'll go ahead and do that now. As you can see, there's a little push button here, so there's actually two different types of brackets to install. This is the easy removal bracket, so what you can actually do is install this into the wall, and then you can just clamp this in there with your ring on it and remove it whenever you want that easily. With us traveling a lot and moving around, I'm going to actually go ahead and use the secondary bracket, which is this section without the clamp. That way it secures on there, and it's much more difficult to take the ring off. Now there's a bolt, an extra bolt that comes with the ring, which I showed you in the unboxing. It's right here. This is actually the little piece that connects to the ring directly. So I'm going to take that out, and then right here, if you can look, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a screw right here. It's a little bolt that actually releases this bracket that connects the ring onto the actual mounting hardware. So I remove that screw, and then I'm able to pop this piece off. Now the reason I do that is because that really just gives me more clearance for when I'm putting my screws in and installing it up there. So those are all the pieces for the ring. Now secondary here, I actually have some Nova Flex, which is a caulking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill my holes into the wall, and then when I get my screws about halfway in, I'm going to take the Nova Flex caulking and put it around the threads, and then screw it in the rest of the way, and then that should help waterproof the installation up here. Now it's very hard to see, but Katie and I did spend some time actually figuring out where we wanted the ring mounted. So I actually have my four holes already dotted up there. So what we'll go ahead and do now is take our drill with our bit, and we'll drill the holes in. Now, before I go any further, there are actually a couple more tips I want to note to you. One is that if you are going to drill into your wall here, understand what's behind there, so you don't drill into anything like wires or anything like that that may make you have a bad day. So understand what's behind there. The second thing is that when you're drilling in there, you don't want to go too deep or all the way through. You kind of want to set it up for your screw. So just keep an eye on your drill bit and how far you're going in, so that you don't go too far. Anyway, we'll go ahead and do the last three real quick. Alright, so I do want to note one more thing. If you're going to take this approach, you should most definitely wear eye safety. I totally forgot that, so do as I say, not as I do, please. Anyway, alright, so now we take our mounting bracket here, which has a convenient little level on there, and then we'll go ahead and start screwing in these screws that come with it, and then we'll get the caulk and put that on the threads. So now at this stage, I have all my screws started. We're gonna take a little break. I might actually get a bit so that I can drill it in with my drill, put it on its lowest setting, and screw those in the rest of the way. Alright, so here I go. I have my clear caulking. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screws, and then I'm going to screw them in the rest of the way, and then I'm probably going to put a little bit on the top as well. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've never enjoyed getting anything like that on my hands, so I wear gloves. we'll get that cleaned up here in a second. So as you can see here, I actually have my Phillips head bit on here, so I'll go ahead and I put my drill to the lowest possible setting on here, so that should be able to make it go in nice and easy, and if it hits too much resistance, it'll automatically stop drilling. Alright, so there that is. It's all installed. I'm going to grab a napkin real quick and kind of clean this up, and then we'll come back and we'll install the ring up here. Alright, so here we are. We got it cleaned up a little bit. Now, right now, I'm pretty happy with the amount of caulk that I got to go inside there with the screw, so I feel like it should be pretty waterproofed. Here, after a couple weeks of having this installed, I'll come out and take a look at it and just see how I think it's holding up. And I may end up putting a bead of caulk all the way around the outside. We'll see what happens. Probably will, but not right now. Anyway, so let's get on to the ring. So after Katie and I looked into it for a while and we're trying to figure out where we wanted it placed, we decided that we wanted to actually connect our mounting piece to the very bottom section. Now what that does is it allows you to point it down a little bit further, but there actually are 3 different mounting sections on the back depending on what angle you're going for and where you want it positioned. So for me and Katie, we're going with the bottom one. If you go this route, you know, you can pick and choose at your leisure, but you take that extra bolt that came with it in the package and you go ahead and put that in there. Use the screwdriver they brought with you or gave to you, and you screw that in there. Now the thing is right now I'm going to leave it a little bit loose so that we can find the correct position once we get it in there, and then we can tighten it down once we know what angle we want it sitting at. So now that I have that attached, now this piece is going to slide right down in there. I'm going to use the other bolt and attach that in. Now what's really cool is I'm not going to go ahead and attach that all the way either, because that bolt allows you to swivel the camera back and forth depending on where you want that located. So anyway, right now our ring is completely up and it's actually broadcasting to our phone right now, but I guess we'll go ahead and position it and see what kind of view we get. Well, you know, once I get my screwdriver back, so hold on one second. Guess that's the problem of doing this up a little higher. Alright, so now it shouldn't spin anymore. Well, looking back on it, we probably should have second thought where we were putting this. It just gave us the best field of view, but with this handle in the way, it really makes it a pain to tighten down those screws. But right now it's good, it's in position, it shouldn't move. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what our camera is broadcasting. So then we're clicking on the Falcon, and then we go in the live view. Now our internet connection's not the best out here, so it's not giving us like 4K view, but it is giving us pretty decent clarity, or it was earlier. This does all rely on your internet connection, by the way. But yeah, there it is. So there you guys are, right there. And Yeah, so that gives us our view. So if anyone's walking up, you should be able to see them. But yeah, we're pretty excited about it. And right then we just tapped into the live view. All right, so that about wraps it up. Our ring is installed. We're able to see a good portion of this and see when people are coming up, and keep an eye. We've checked in a little bit and been able to bring up the live view. We'll show you that at another time. But we're really happy with the way or how easy it was to get up there installed, and with the way that it's working so far. One note that we do want to mention is that it is reliant on an internet connection. Currently we have ours attached to our MiFi because it hardly ever uses data, and it only records when there's a motion sent or when you go to the live view. Now there's one other thing I had mentioned earlier in the unboxing about the cloud storage, how whenever there is a motion captured on here, that it takes it to the cloud and stores it there. It does do that, and when you first get your ring and activate it, you have 30 days for the free trial. Then after that, it's $3 a month or $30 for the year to have that cloud capture storage online. So just something to note if you guys are going to look to go this route. Overall, like I said, we're really happy with it and excited about it. If you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them below. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll put up a post here soon on the website that goes into a little bit more detail about it. So don't forget to subscribe below, and thank you guys for swinging by today. We'll see you again soon.